Hi, Sarah here. Welcome back. You guessed it. Today we're taking a look at the different tarot storage areas I've got, the different ways I'm storing my tarot decks, as well as other things I collect and how I store them all as well. I live in an apartment in LA with my fiance, and we only have one bedroom and one living room to share. I've been used to living in small apartments for like all my adult life. Even in college, we had to share dorm rooms with other people. So I've just gotten really used to making small spaces work for me. Honestly, I feel more comfortable in small spaces than in spaces where I have too much room because I like having all of my things within reach. I've noticed that when I have a lot of space to work with, I feel pressured or obligated to fill up that space with like so many things, so many different organizational things, to buy things to fill up all that space. So honestly, I really enjoy having a small space to just confine myself in. I just want to mention that I will be putting on the screen any artists or shop names I can remember for anything that I show on screen. So if you're curious about that, just check the screen because I'm not going to remember to put everything in the description. Okay, if you're ready, let's get on with the tour. So this is one of the main displays for all of the tarot decks that I have. This is a tarot tower made of foam board and T-pins and a whole bunch of glue and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and really just complaining. The instructions for this were from the YouTube channel Tarot Oracle. So I made this like, I don't know, 2-3 years back, probably 2 years ago. As you can see, I've been able to stuff a lot of decks here. 19 decks here. There's not like a hard rule for what decks I will put over here. It's really just decks that I generally like and like to look at. We've got spread cloths over here, just all the different cloths that I like to lay out for reading with. Some of these decks are in drawstring bags because they usually come in a really big Llewellyn box. So instead of having that big box out, I just take the cards out. I've got the little cards in this bag here. I did crochet all these bags. This one in particular has like a certain bauble design that I was trying out for the fun of it, but I don't really like it. It's actually really big. This is a Playful Heart Tarot and it's a little bit too roomy, but I use so much yarn on this, I'm like hesitant to even break it apart now. So that's that unique bag. That's all there is to it. It's just like a set of like 3 bleachers, you know, 3 bleachers of tarot tower here. This is the nook that my tarot tower sits on. As you can see, it is our collection of board games. I'm really happy with the board games that we have amassed over the years. These are the ones that we try to be very picky about because we just have very limited space. Let's open this in here. We've got a few more board games. Goodbye. I first got into board games in 2019. Since then, I've just gotten more and more into them because I find that there are so many wonderful different genres of games. I used to think that board games were all only Eurocentric games, like just colonizing lands or like making resources, building empires, but there are a lot of different types of board games out there that have all different kinds of strategies and different gameplays and different game mechanics as well. Wingspan is one of the first games that I got into and I really enjoyed. We actually have like all the expansions, the Europe expansion, the Oceania expansion. We just got the Asia expansion as well. Roll for the Galaxy is a fun dice rolling game. I could go on and on. I should stop before I just explain all the different games that we have. This is a legacy game, which for those unfamiliar with board games, these legacy games have different campaigns or different chapters. So instead of the one board game being played over and over, the legacy game actually has different chapters and different like ways that the game improves and amps up and the characters and the gameplay changes throughout the different games. So it's really cool. We're playing through this legacy game right now with us and another couple friend. It's got 12 chapters. We are on chapter 6 now. So we've played 5-6 games together. So that's pretty cool. Here's our cat. Hi, Susie. Hello. And again, there is the tarot tower. So this here is the overflow deck area. And this is a big motivation for me to try to stop bringing in more decks because if all of my different deck storage areas cannot hold these decks and even this area can't hold decks, I really need to stop buying new stuff. Not only is there a limit to how many decks I am interested in and can enjoy keeping around, but there's also a limit to how much space I have to hold decks in the first place. I don't know if when we move to a bigger space in the future, if I'm going to want to buy more decks, but honestly right now, I know that I've crammed so many decks into the small space that we have and I just want to keep it like small and confined. Like the confinements are good. They're here to help me like be mindful of how much I purchase and how much I keep in stock. But here decks in the overflow area, it's like Oracle decks that I don't really use that often. Actually, all of the big Llewellyn boxes and some of the tuck boxes that I keep are back here. These giant Llewellyn boxes that I really don't want to keep around, they're back here. So even though theoretically, if those boxes weren't back there, I could maybe fit more decks and books back there in the back. Having those boxes there helps keep these decks pushed out to the front, and you know, it makes me not need to buy more. There are also some decks or bags here that I have not made my own bags yet for. This one was sent along with the deck. This one I actually bought from the Kickstarter for the Tarot in Space. So this one doesn't hold the space deck, it holds a different deck, but I would like to eventually make my own bags for these anyway, just to have the uniform crochet look. And also the different guidebooks for different decks are here, the ones that are like too big to fit inside these boxes. The well-known guidebooks and just other guidebooks that are bigger than the deck box. So that's the little overflow area. While we're here looking at different collections of things that I have, this is my little candle storage area, cauldron. This is my favorite candle brand. It's Forever Mood. This brand was created by Jackie Aina, who is a Black makeup YouTuber. She is still one of the only makeup YouTubers that I still follow because I just enjoy her tips on makeup and her ways to live life, really. These candles are triple layered. Once you burn through the first layer, like it's a certain smell. Burning through the middle layer is a different smell. Burning through the last layer is a different smell. And they're really fragrant. So this is actually the mini version. They do have like full-size versions, but I'm perfectly fine with the mini versions. They come in sets of like 4, and you know, I'm not here to try to sell you candles, but I'm just saying I really enjoy these candles. I've got a couple of Avatar The Last Airbender themed candles here, so I really hope to burn them eventually. Honestly, I was really into candles for a short time. That's why I have so many right now, but I'm trying to burn through all these candles before I buy more, because similar to tarot decks, like they're easy to buy and very hard to actually use up. I guess similar to tarot decks and makeup and any other consumable item. Just easy to buy, hard to use up. And moving on from the candles and my tarot overflow, we go to another corner that I really enjoy. We've got a basket of crochet stuff over there. We've got my cat's toys and this glass tower from IKEA. So we'll start with the bottom here. We've got these mushroom babies that, again, I don't really know what to do with, so they're just here taking up space. That doll back there is like a base doll for my doll design, so I like to have that as a reference. These 2 Lego flowers were assembled by Andy. This is a Dreamcatcher album, one of my favorite K-pop groups as of the past couple years. EXO, one of my all-time favorite groups. I don't follow them too much anymore, but I saw this album in a store and I was like, I'm just gonna buy it to support them. It's my first physical album, my first physical like photo book, and that's one of my biases there, Chanyeol. So moving on to the second level from the bottom, we have my like favorite decks. So we've got the Spread Machine decks, the Way of the Panda, Spacious, and a bunch of other favorite decks back there. These ones don't get rotated out too much. They don't get as much use as I would like to, despite being my favorites. So I do hope to change that by figuring out more tarot video ideas to make with all of these different decks, you know, that are my favorites. For storage, they are on this like spice rack. I want to say you can search on Amazon or somewhere for like spice racks. So these are like bleachers, kind of like the tarot tower. So that's why they are able to be seen, because they're, you know, just propped up 1 level each. Moving on to the side over here, some candy, just so it's a little bit closer to my desk. And just a bunch of different crochet plushes, crochet amigurumi that I've made, and I don't really have a space to display them. So they're just here. This is one of my favorite shows, Sailor Moon, but you know, she's over here. There's a bunch of different little things that I've made that I really enjoy that I just don't have any space to display them. So unfortunately, they're right here until I have space eventually or an idea on how to display them. Speaking of crochet, that's what the last 2 levels are, just crochet stuff. Bunch of little ghosties here, bunch of Halloween beans. My artist designed this rainbow, so I decided to crochet a rainbow version of it, because why not? This Pokeball is from Why So Cilious on Instagram. She makes really cute Pokeballs with different Pokemon figurines or other anime figurines too, just whatever you request. And they all have like fake plants, fake succulents, and they're just really nice to look at. And moving up to here, we have more Pokeballs from Sil. Cyndaquil is my favorite Pokemon. That's why I've got one of that. This astronaut I made for Andy during my proposal to him. This little thingy in the back is supposed to be his like little ring box, little ring holder. This astronaut is actually from the video game Astroneer, which is an astronaut / engineering type of game, a space engineering game, and it is really cute. These 2 are the only things that I actually did not crochet. I bought them from an online crochet friend. The rest of this, as you can see, there's a lot of overflow here. That stuff is literally being piled on top of each other. Yes. So that is our little glass display of stuff. Well, more like my little glass display. The stuff down there is ours, but most of it is just mine. So this is my desk area, my little corner of our apartment. As you can see, I'm right next to the patio door, so I get a lot of really nice sunlight in the daytime. Although unfortunately, since I work nights, I don't get to experience the sunlight while I'm actually working. So this is a desk tray that I got from IKEA. You can fold it up so that it actually lays down flat. So when I feel like standing, I just put a fatigue mat down. I raise this up and this is my desk. As you can see, very functional, very helpful for helping me to stand and not sit down too long. So this little corner has all the things I need for my general journaling and card reading stuff at my desk. These are needles and scissors for when I need to sew stuff in, for my crocheting work. We've got these two little deck holders, which I got from Jamie Sawyer. I really like her wood carving stuff. I think the things that she makes are very handy. This chair was also from Jamie Sawyer. This holds usually the deck that I'm working with for tarot and practice for the month, as well as a couple of cards I like to keep out for just general pulls. I don't want to say daily pulls because I don't pull them all the time, just whenever I feel like I need a new message or a new encouragement. This post-it I got from my trip in Portland from a thrift store. I've really been enjoying using them as a little card of the day for when I journal about them. Revealing this, we've got just a bunch of crystals here. I am not really into buying crystals anymore. I think they kind of get all repetitive. I really only like them for the colors, but I like having them to fidget with on the side here. Pens, light colored markers for when I want to highlight in my journal and stuff. These are the Target brand. Got little sound bowl and a little shaker. These I like to use for either cleansing decks, which I learned from Lisa Pepez's Magic of Divination video, her video about cleansing decks using sound to cleanse decks. So I really enjoy using this as a little pleasant chime. Or a little shaker. This one is from Hawaii. I did not get this with the intention of making it a shaker, but it is serving that purpose now. And looking closer at these cards here, these are my favorite decks to actually have an affirmational message from. This is the Essential Oils Oracle cards. What I really like about these cards is that they'll have the trigger statement. It's like the automatic thought. And we have a true statement, which is something to reframe your thoughts. So this little affirmation, this acknowledging the counterpoint versus the automatic thought is really helpful for me. I don't really care as much for the essential oil itself, but the affirmational stuff is really helpful. These are cards that my life coach and I use during our first sessions, and even though we stopped using them during our remote sessions, I really enjoyed them so much that I wanted to buy my own copy. This is the Women in the Hourglass series of cards by Mary Lou Faustro. They have the Spanish version on the back, the French version on the back, and on the front is the English translation, or the English words, I guess. I really like these cards because they're very simple and they feel very open and expansive. This affirmational message is from the Open Spaces Oracle deck. I don't want to say it's an Oracle deck per se because it's not really marketed in the tarot and Oracle world, but these are messages that are really profound. And since I've been going to therapy and life coaching and unlearning a lot of stuff, it's really helpful to have messages like this. I want to keep finding ways to articulate how helpful I find these messages because I just think they're very profound, but I know that they're not for everyone. I find it a really therapeutic type of deck to pull from and to read from. I just really enjoy the simple, new ideas, new thoughts that this provides to me. So this is the combination of 3 affirmational decks or oracle decks that I will actually pull from and I will use pretty regularly. I just want to quickly highlight again how cute this little chair is from Jamie Sawyer. It's a really cute tarot card stand. And just looking at the computer itself, I just want to do a big shout out to Andy because Andy was the one who helped me have this computer in the first place. He was the one who helped rig my monitor stand and everything. This computer used to be his, but now because he's built a smaller one, he wants to give me this one. So lucky me, and I've decorated it with all of my favorite art stuff. My coworker from my last job gave me this. And this is a sheet of flash tattoos that one of my tattoo artists made, and she just has printouts of these, so I have one of them. This is a print from the Playful Heart Tarot. This is a print from the Creatures Tarot. This is the character from one of my new favorite animes, Romantic Killer. It's a shoujo anime. Just cute stuff. My space just makes me really, really happy. And pulling back, here is the corner, the drawers, the carts, the everything that I've got in this corner. Let's take a closer look at my art wall because I am really, really happy with all of the art and stuff that I've collected and the ones that I've got on display. To point out a few highlights, as you can see, clearly I'm a big Avatar fan, and I'm also really into Sailor Moon. A little bit of Adventure Time there too with Princess Bubblegum. This garland here is all cards from my friends. I do change them out every couple years when I get a lot of new cards. I will say that one, my friend from college drew it for me. I used to go by Tang in college, and she still calls me Tang. This base card my fiance gave to me when he proposed to me, so That's a special one up there. My sibling Avery has given me a couple of these cards. For my bachelorette party, I chose to have this card for everyone to sign. I had everyone buy their own card that they wanted everyone to sign, and this is what I chose just because I think it's really funny. It's like our squad, our little weird squad. I'm a big fan of Sissy Art Cafe. She has really cute stuff. So that one and a lot of these other prints are from Sissy Art Cafe, these watercolor prints. This print is from Jen Bartel. It's using the designs that Piccolo, I want to say, the designs that he came up with, but yeah, the artist is Jen Bartel. It's a shame that that's not available on her shop anymore because it is really good. Sissy Art Cafe, Sissy Art Cafe. These are from Sugar Mints on Etsy and on their own shop. Got that bookmark from Anime Expo a few years back. That's a picture of my parents, face covered for privacy. My parents when they were younger. Over here, this is my work in progress corner. Sort of work in progress. It's more like things that I'm going to eventually frog or finish, but I haven't gotten around to yet. We will not talk about that much. This is my tarot card. This is the last tarot deck storage that I have. I've got like 3 or 4. This is like the 4th storage. And like I mentioned, I want to make sure that I'm not buying too many decks because there's overflow everywhere. These decks are decks that I like to pull from. They're kind of decks that I may want to pull from for the next coming weeks or months. Honestly, I'm not someone who has a regular week or month practice. I used to rotate my decks out every month or even every week, but I just don't really find that interesting. I find it more valuable to work with certain decks until I feel like switching them out. So these are some decks that I'm focused on right now. The Reclaim Oracle will always be out here because I am always going to enjoy the Reclaim Oracle. These are some other decks that I do plan to study. I'm probably going to make a video one of these days about decks that I plan to study and get to know better. These are crochet hooks from Furls Crochet. I honestly might sell these or give these away because I don't crochet as much as I used to anymore. This is the beginning of like my charm or other divination set. So here we've got the Charmcast Tarot, which is all metal tarot charms here. Goodbye. I just bought these Lenormand tiles from Jamie Sawyer. I don't remember the name of the actual deck. It might be Sawyer's Lenormand or something. Impulse buy, honestly. And I know that they're discontinuing their stuff and I wanted to make sure I got one before it went out of stock. Here's a couple of casting boards. I've got the Lenormand mini tableau casting board that came with the tiles. And I also bought this like Zodiac, the 12 houses casting board because I would like to develop my own 12 house readings. Down here, it's really just a lot of yarn, just a lot of yarn. I literally have a flashlight so that I can see better down here because it's just really dark down here. This and this are all yarn, and I actually have more stored in our couch right now. Yarn is another thing that I find really easy to buy and really hard to use up. Since I haven't been knitting or crocheting as much as I used to, I want to make sure that I am using up the things that I have. So I have plans for the yarn. I have plans for things I'm going to make. I'm just going to get through the wedding planning first and then I'll go back to crocheting. Speaking of yarn, let's look at what's over here. More works in progress. This is going to be a gift for our wedding planner because she is a really cool Vietnamese lady who knows a lot about Vietnamese tea ceremonies and Vietnamese weddings, and she deserves nice things. Also, she's really into Disney. I brought a bunch of like mushroom babies in the works. They're just a bit naked right now, but soon they're going to have clothes and hats and it's going to be glorious. I'm really proud of the yarn storage that I've created. I've got all these organza bags because when you buy yarn from wecrochet.com or knitpicks.com, they send these organza bags as well. So I've actually sectioned all of these colors off into like purples, blues, greens, etc. That way when I need a certain color, it's easy for me to pull from that bag that has that color. It's definitely a little bit cramped down here, but you know, LA apartment living, I'm not too mad about it. I do enjoy where I live and I enjoy the way that I've made my space work for me. Going on to the drawers over here, here's my journals. This is my bullet journal, my freeform planner. This is a journal that I write stuff in, when I cry in, and I laugh in, and I put stickers in. This is my tarot notebook down here for occasional tarot notes and studying. And these are the Alex drawers from IKEA, which I find so funny because I used to watch a lot of Makeup Tube, and it was funny to point out how every single makeup tuber had these same Alex drawers. And now look at me, I'm also using these Alex drawers. So the top part is tarot books. This is my work notebook for when I write down how to do stuff for work. This drawer has my Canon photo printer that I just got. It's also usually holding my microphone so that it's not taking up space on my desk. And also markers for journaling. My preference again is the super washable tips, normally from Crayola, but I've got the Target brand just to save a few bucks. This is my crochet drawer. We've got all my crochet hooks and doodads, and I know it's not super tidy, but it works for me. These are all the safety eyes that I'm gonna use one day. There's so many safety eyes. Look at all these safety eyes for all the dolls I'm not making right now. get back in there. This is all the other miscellaneous crochet items that I have. I have little note cards, got stamps, holographic, iridescent thread, just all the knickknacks that I need for making crochet stuff, crochet dolls. And lastly, this is just a bunch of yarn that I honestly don't know what to do with. Little yarn scraps are too big to hold into a little box and too small to actually make anything big with. So yeah, that's like the miscellaneous drawer. We kind of don't talk about that drawer either. But that is my little corner over here. And lastly, here's the space that I'm usually filming in. As you can see, I've got a little table on the floor and just a bunch of wonderful tarot art on the wall and other of my favorite things on the wall. I'm just in love with these landscapes, these beautiful, spacious looking paintings here. This one I got from Anime Expo many years ago. These are the Evolution paintings from Sugar Mints. Evolution as in like, you know, Eevee, the Pokemon, and all the evolutions. More Sailor Moon prints because why not? It's so dreamy. The way they did this is so dreamy. And these Sailor Moon tarot cards is actually a tarot deck that someone bought for me, my friend bought for me in my first year of tarot. And I figured that it would be best to display them on the wall like so. Going over here, we have this wonderful tarot art. My bridesmaids commissioned this tarot art, this custom tarot card for me. And I think the artist did such a good job. It's so beautiful. I just think it's so gorgeous. The way that they painted me, the way that they painted our cat. It's the moon card, you know? The moon card, me in my wedding dress, my wedding ao dai, my Vietnamese dress. It's just so pretty. Going over here, I like to think of this as like my little buddy station. These are just little buddies that I've picked up over the years. I made this Susie cat, it's our cat, for the fun of it. I bought this from Stella's Imagination. I bought this when Andy was still in San Jose for a few years. My sibling painted this for me. We did a swap where I painted them something and they painted me something. I just bought this during our recent trip to the Aquarium of the Pacific, which is an aquarium that I used to go to a lot as a child. So we just went there recently for the memories and got a little sharky in return. Here's another little shaker from Hawaii, little sound bowl. One of my friends, she's really into Buddhist customs and she knows how to roll it around so that it makes like a little prolonged ringing sound. And this desk mat is actually the 12 houses, the 12 astrology houses from Sia Hunt. To quickly talk about my filming setup, this is the microphone that I use for filming. My boyfriend initially had this microphone and then I bought my own copy because it's such good quality in my opinion. So I use this microphone, I plug it into my laptop while I film. In post, I like to just smash them together. That way I'm filming with my phone, but I'm using this microphone to actually record the audio. And I really like how the audio sounds with this one. For the phone holder, I have a certain tripod that I like to hold the phone with. So it's this tripod here. This was recommended from a video on YouTube about using a basic setup for your tripod. So you have the tripod, you have the phone holder up here, and honestly, that's really all that I need. I used to have a phone holder that clamps to the desk, but I cannot use that anymore because every time you'd shuffle cards or tap the table, that phone holder would just be like, the video would just be like shaking the whole time and I wouldn't catch it until in post, which is so annoying. Definitely this tripod, the freestanding tripod, works a lot better for me. And it's a lot more flexible. I can actually use it to film face front videos or film anywhere else besides just on top of the table. And I also have this tripod, this mini tripod that I use for filming. I actually initially bought it to help me take pictures of my crochet stuff because I needed a little phone tripod. This one works really well for filming as well. The legs are all adjustable, so you can really make the tripod like work for you. Like you can make it low, you can angle it, you can wrap it around certain things. Like if you want to wrap it around a balcony or a railing, it works. Wrap it around a water bottle. This little phone holder extension really works as well. So I definitely recommend these two items for a really basic filming setup, especially if you're just filming with your phone. I wanted to highlight this little nook over here. This is my earring hangers. I'm just so happy with these. I've been really getting into wearing more statement earrings, more of these chunky earrings recently. Honestly, you can blame Glamgio NYC on YouTube for that. Her content is so uplifting. And she wears these chunky earrings. It's such a nice way of accessorizing, just having a little pop of something cute, something fun. Even if I don't go outside, I can still wear these earrings and just have some fun with it. Unfortunately, at the point where I have to start doubling up on earring hangers because I've got too many earrings, you know, and I need to start cutting down, and maybe not cutting down, but just stop buying more. I need to stop going to artist markets because they're such a big trap. I need to stop buying earrings. I just have too many that I enjoy. And here's my little makeup area, seeing as makeup is something I also really enjoy. I used to buy a lot of makeup in my first year of watching MakeupTube. Luckily, over the many years, I have curated enough and thrown out enough makeup that I know what I like, to use, and I don't need much more than that. Here is the double-sided mirror. We've got the regular side and the close-up side. I also like to have this mirror on hand because I'm really, really nearsighted. I really need to have a super close-up mirror there. Lipsticks, mostly ColourPop lipsticks, liquid eyeliners, color liquid eyeliners. Don't really love these, probably won't rebuy them. This is a trick that I learned from MakeupTube. I like to have this little light here, that way I am illuminated from the front when I do my makeup. I've got this storage here. This used to be a lot more full. Luckily, I have curated over the years so that I actually have products that I do enjoy and I do like to have. There's no extraneous products here. I actually like everything that I have here. Technically, powders and eyebrow pencils, I don't really use these too much. Besides that, everything else I do enjoy. And from the same brand that gave me the earring hangers, we have these eyelash hangers as well. I tend to only use magnetic lashes. It kind of started just because I wasn't sure if I was going to buy lash glue, so I used magnetic eyeliner and it's worked for me. But clearly sometimes the eyeliner, the lash is not hanging on too well. But on the eyes, it works out fine. Here's different eyeshadow palettes that I have, including a few palettes that I've like popped out a lot of other eyeshadows from, put them into this one. I've really been into colorful makeup recently, and this is an eyeshadow palette that is really enjoyable to use. These brushes, I've had these for literally years. I honestly don't get why brands need to release new brushes every year or every so often, because there are already so many out on the market that already work. I don't know why every company needs to make their own brushes. These water-activated graphic liners are something that I've also been really into this year especially. Again, influenced by Glam Geo. You take water on a brush, you mix it into here for like 30 seconds, and you can start drawing on your eyes that way. So that's been a really cool way of drawing on my face and learning to do makeup, have creativity that way. This is a hair bun holder. I learned this trick also from MakeupTube. When you take like eyeshadow on it, or if you need to clean off your brush, you can just wipe off the powder like this, and it kind of helps get off most of the powder. I do need to wash my brushes. So yeah, that's a quick tour of my little makeup area. So that's a look at my space, how I made it work for me. What do you think? I really don't have anything to say for my closing thoughts, so I'll just close it out here. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Bye!